We're back.
And we are back. That was, you know, those kinds of interviews, and thank you again to the chairwoman for taking time out of her schedule to come, just
Yes.
frustrates me to death. That look, I'm so tired of us being on defense. Look, I am a strict constitutionalist. The Second Amendment is about as black and white. The right to bear arms shall not be infringed. I mean, how difficult is that to interpret? Now, this is
Shall not
from
be
a party
infringed.
shall not be infringed.
Shall not be infringed.
Shall not be infringed. Of
Shall
course, this is from
not
the other side where
be
they're still
infringed.
trying to define what the meaning of the word is, right?
I
So, I mean,
mean,
I think,
hey, here's the deal, okay? You know that bruh, okay. I don't care what semblance of decorum or dignity was left in politics, but when Bill Clinton said what it depends on what your definition of the word it was all over. It was all over from there.
well, it's not only the definitional games, it's also statistics, right?
Mm,
Statistical games. What's the expression? Lies, damn lies, and statistics. So in this whole gun violence, they
yeah.
always say, well, it's going to reduce gun violence, it's going to reduce homicides, it's going to reduce suicides, it's
Hmm.
going to reduce. I mean, and yet
Yeah.
I defy anyone to show me an actual study that is verifiable and you can replicate, or you can just go through the numbers that actually demonstrates that, because the bad guys are always going to get guns because
Well,
they
then,
don't follow the law.
Robert, here's the thing. I'll even give them their statistics, okay? I'll even be super generous and I'll give you that these laws may reduce crime or problems or whatever. However,
It's not
it
there.
will also reduce the approximately 1.5 million defensive uses of a firearm every year. If there's 30,000 uses of a firearm a year in the country that are bad and 1.5 million uses that are good,
Wait, where are you getting these numbers from? Are these accurate numbers?
it's about that. So there's something
Really?
like there's something like 30, and I'm giving rough numbers because it fluctuates slightly every year. But if you look, there's about 30,000 ish homicides every year. There's another 20 or 30,000 suicides every year with a gun. And then by all estimates, there's at least 1.5 million defensive uses of a firearm every year.
Okay. Well, look, I just think
Who was
that statistics
Benjamin?
are used.
Who was it? Sorry, it was Lot. Was it
That's okay.
Lot? Dr. Lot? It was. I had a guy on Generally Irritable that was. It was an incredibly fascinating. What the heck was? Would you look that up, Lord Reddick?
Lord
See
Reddick.
what organization he leads. Very fascinating. We'll put it in the chat in the description.
Okay. So and the thing with statistics, right? So I'm going to segue now from guns to the Middle East. Did you? And we're staying with no, because there are no guns in the Middle East. No, just kidding.
I'm
Uh,
like, that's a
so
segue.
yeah, but it's about statistics. I want to stay with the concept of statistics. So
Oh yeah.
there's this whole thing now going on in the Middle East where, first of all, the ICC, the International Criminal Court, has sworn out an arrest warrant not only for Netanyahu but for
Oh
the
right.
head of Hamas, and I mean, basically in the middle of a war, they have a arrest warrant for a leader who's fighting a war to defend the existence of his own country, which is a whole
How
different issue.
dare you?
But they're also, and the reason they're doing that is they're accusing the Netanyahu government of genocide and of
Mhm.
intentionally starving all these children. And the
Oh.
number that is out there, here's the statistic, is 35,000. Supposedly, there have been 35,000 deaths in Gaza as a result of Israel. That was put out by Hamas. That was echoed by the UN, only to have now come out and the UN said, "Oops, we made a mistake with our statistics, and it's 50% lower than what we told you." So Hamas,
What?
they're I here you go. The United Nations for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs has revised its
Oh.
data pertaining to the number of Palestinian casualties in the 7-month Gaza war.
Oh,
On
so
May
so my
6th,
bad. My
wait,
bad.
on May 6th, They said that there was 9,500 women that were killed and 14,500 children on May 8th without announcing anything. They dropped that to by 50%, 4,000. Look, there's still too many deaths. I get that. But the numbers dropped from 9,500 to 5,000. The numbers dropped from 14,500 to 7,500. And it makes you ask the question. You know that, right? Lies, damn lies, and statistics. It makes you ask the question that you know that the UN is getting their numbers from Hamas, who's clearly they're not accurate. First of all, they can't even come up with more than 10,000 names. So how do we get to 35,000? They parrot that information. The White House parrots that information, and it's already out there. Then without telling anybody, they dial back the numbers, the statistic by 50%. And by the way, if they're getting their numbers from Hamas, right? How, and they have to revise their numbers. What do you think the real numbers were? Because Hamas probably said, it's got to be at least 50% less, which means it's probably significantly less than that. Now, again, ladies and gentlemen, we're not arguing that, that any deaths are okay, but understand that this is in the context of a war of survival.
Yeah.
And we can argue whether or not it's been prosecuted well or inefficiently. That's a whole different conversation. But lies, damn lies, and statistics. How do you put out a number 35,000 are dead? Issue an arrest warrant for the leader of a free nation who's fighting a war of self-defense, right? Then revise it by 50% and still accuse him of genocide.
I don't know how you do that. I also,
right?
I don't know how you redefine genocide. I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, Robert, because me and English aren't good friends. Okay.
Ain't got no good English.
But here's what I'm thinking. Okay. If it were in fact a genocide, the number would actually be significantly higher than the number reported. If it were a genocide, they would have just carpet bombed the place and murdered everybody. I'm so sick of this. This language is so stupid. It is, it's all of it. Whether it's the inflated numbers or the language they're using is to make it seem worse than it is. And for you to take sympathy away from Israel for having had a terrorist organization on its border for years, constantly attacking them.
So the International Court said the following, that killing more than 35,000 people in Gaza, according to the Hamas-led health ministry, starvation as a method of war, the intentional targeting of civilians, extermination and persecution. Those are the war crimes that they are charging Israel with, right? So, and then you have the U.S. government, whose State Department puts out the following statement that, quote, it's reasonable to assess that Israel has committed war crimes with the U.S. weapons in Gaza and the West Bank, but we could not make a conclusive finding because American officials did not have the ability to make determinations on specific incidents. Right? So let's go back to words and deeds and leadership, right? You have the Biden administration, President Biden on Holocaust Memorial Day gets up and says, never again. And the next day, because Israel has allegedly committed war crimes of which the United States doesn't have proof, but is taking information from Hamas through the United Nations, which is the echo chamber, then says, we're not sending you offensive weapons. But never again, right? I mean, what am I missing? Help me here. It's so far beyond. Where's the outrage? I was actually gonna play the little "Where's the outrage" montage, right there. Oh, I love
you said
that.
it, but then I was like, "That's funny though," and I don't know if I can crack a joke right now.
Yeah.
My gosh.
I sit here and I just look at you know how I like to print all this stuff out. I mean, but if you want to go to "Where's the outrage," my favorite "Where's the outrage" today is
Tell me.
and look. I was never part of the Boy Scouts, but I just learned that the Boy Scouts are changing their name.
Oh God.
Did you know
what
that?
What is it? Trans Scouts of America now?
In 2025, the Boy Scouts are going to change their names from Boy Scouts of America to Scouting America.
Oh.
Yeah. there's a reason the president says the goal is to reduce as many barriers as possible to ensure everyone can accept the organization and can join. And they're having a really good year, right? In 2019, they had 2 million members. And 4 years later, they've dropped to 1 million members.
Oh, you mean so being
what's in the name?
inclusive hasn't been a success for them?
Wait.
Shocking.
The Boy Scouts was established in, let me, ladies and gentlemen, let me give you the difference. The Boy Scouts were established in 1910 in this country, Boy Scouts of America. And the motto back then was to, quote, teach patriotism, courage, self-reliance, and kindred value. So that's over 100 years ago when they were founded. The new motto is to make ethical and moral choices over their lifetime.
What does that even mean?
Well,
what does that even mean?
Value. Well, you remember how they're changing the motto at West Point, right? Same kind of thing. So it says according to Scout values, but then you have to refer to another document, right?
What are Scout values?
I don't know. Lord Redic can look it up. But I mean, where's the outrage? By the way, if girls can now join Boy Scouts of America,
can't even. No, you cannot join Girl Scouts. No.
Well, why not?
Because just like in marriage, we're not like we're one flesh and I get to have your stuff. No, it's not that. I don't, Robert, I can't, I do joke. I do actually say that to Benjamin when I want to eat food off of his plate. I'm like, baby, we're in one flesh.
You say, excuse me, you're going to eat that? Boom. Right. Exactly.
Robert, tell me something. Okay.
I'll tell you anything.
Here is a serious question.
Okay.
Do you find it offensive that sometimes your wife doesn't want to hang out with guys and sometimes she just wants to be around other women?
No. As long as I'm allowed to hang out with other guys.
And isn't there no matter how much you love your wife, isn't there times you just do not want to be around someone with 2 X chromosomes? You just want to be with your dudes talking about dude stuff.
Excuse me. As a guy in his 60s, I have learned not to answer those kind of questions because there is no right answer.
No.
And any answer I give you, it's sort of one of those, well, how long has it been since you've stopped beating your wife kind of question?
No,
right?
no.
I mean, it's just,
Robert,
it is a no-win scenario.
Here's the deal. Lord Redic has a standing bro date on Thursday nights. I know he's going out with his homeboys on Thursdays, and I love it because you know what? Then I have the house to myself. It's peace and quiet, and I get to
I'm not arguing he shouldn't.
A starfish on the bed because he doesn't, and it's
I'm not arguing that. I'm arguing about answering your question.
The point is, everybody knows that men and women are different, and we need different things, and we
not anymore.
And we need to be cultivated differently.
No. There is no difference between the genders. As a matter of fact, there aren't 2 genders. There are like 18. I want to personally transform into a minotaur because that whole horse body thing, I think I could run quick. So, sorry, I had to go there. I'm trying to have some water.
I can't
don't die on me, please. Not in the middle of the show. You can die after the show, but not on the show. So
that might get us some clicks. The host dies of a heart attack during the show.
So look, play the where's the where's the outrage, because I do have one other outrage here.
Oh, okay, hold on.
WTO. Where's the outrage? Where's the outrage? The outrage over where's the outrage? 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 Where do we go from here? And folks, where's the outrage? Where's the outrage? Where's the outrage? Where's the outrage? Where do we go from here? So my first sense of outrage, the outrage. Who did Bang Bang with Fang Fang? Outrage. WTO. The outrage. And on that note, thank you for being with us. Stay tuned. Okay. If the point is that I say, where's the outrage a lot, I think your point is well taken. But that's because there's so many things that are outrageous. I mean, so for instance, there is a city councilwoman, what's her name? Rosanna Rodriguez, who basically she's an elected official. She is a member of the Democratic Socialists of America. So she's a socialist. I mean, we're not labeling her that. That's the party she's
She labeled
affiliated with.
herself. Yep.
And she basically says that it's racist. This now, by the way, this explains why there's 182 shootings in Chicago in the month of May that's not even completed yet, and 43 last weekend. She basically says that it's racist to punish criminals, and America is a garbage society. Now, this is a publicly elected. Look, I was going to say Rosanna Dana, but then I'd be aging myself and I'd be disparaging the Italian community, which I'm not trying to do.
My mom,
but her name is
Rosanna
Rodriguez, an alderwoman in Chicago, member of Democratic Socialists, says the following: policing and the entire criminal injustice system are themselves essential to maintaining white power and control. Changing the culture of policing would require getting rid of the soil in which it grows, and eradicating white supremacy. Police ensuring safe streets is racist. And here's my favorite line in all of this, which is white supremacy, systemic racism, and exclusion are the root of the issue of violence. So people committing crimes, this is like AOC, right? It justifies it because, well, they're only committing crimes because of white supremacy,
white people,
or white. Well, no, people of color, or is it? Fault. By the way, what's BIPOC? BIPOC, something peoples of color, right? Biracial, something? I don't know.
It's
what's
the
BIPOC?
Indigenous. What is it? Biracial, indigenous. Black indigenous people of color.
Black and so basically, when BIPOC people commit a crime, it's because of white supremacy. Yep. When BIPOC people commit a crime, it's systemic racism.
Yep.
And exclusion, right? And I mean, you sit here. Oh, and by the way, if you say Blue Lives Matter, that's racist.
Oh, you're definitely a racist.
But where's the outrage? So this is an alder woman or an alder man. Maybe she's an alder man or an alder thing or an alder it. Are you?
She might be an alder they.
Alder they. Which, by the way, these are the same people who want to change the term manhole cover to people hole because it's sexist. So you just, I'm sorry. I mean, we cover so much serious stuff, and this is a serious topic. But I sit here and I feel like a scene from a Monty Python movie where I want to just bang myself over the head with a wooden, a wooden plank, because where's the outrage? And
how much do you want to bet she also is for gun control? So not only should we not have police on the streets because that's racist, you also should not have a gun to protect yourself because that also is racist.
Which, by the way, she goes on to say, and this is, I missed this one. Someone accused her of being racist against white people.
Oh,
and her response was, "Did you call me a racist against white people? Reverse racism is not a thing. So I have nothing else to contribute here." I sit here and go, okay. So on top of everything else, systemic racism, white supremacy racism, race racism, whatever, reverse racism is not a thing.
You're right.
Where's the outrage?
You're right. Reverse racism is not a thing because it's just racism. It's just racism. You're just a racist.
No. She's saying that BIPOC people, by the way, it sounds like a Star Trek episode, BIPOC or something like that. Maybe Star Wars, right? But
yeah,
what is it? Black indigenous people of color cannot be racist towards white people. White people can only be racist towards
stupid
BIPOC.
That's not even true.
But this is an elected official. It brings back Ben Franklin, right? Whose quote was loosely translated, "We tend to get the type of representative government we deserve."
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah. What was the quote where it was like, people deserve to get democracy good and hard or something like that? It was like, oh, you want democracy? Yeah, you get it. You deserve it good and hard. Or, that failed. That landed terribly, y'all.
That was a bit of a spud, but that's okay. But which, by the way, I don't even know what that quote. Usually I can like follow your lead. If you're going to come out with a quote, I can go, "Oh, that's what she means." Yeah, I can bail her out here. I can do that, but I can't do that on this one because I have no idea what you're even talking about. But what I will tell you is, you keep saying democracy, and you and I both know when things are
No,
running well, we're not a democracy. We're a constitutional republic. So
that's right.
is that. So
Yes,
um,
correct. Correct.
so
So what do you think about this new definition of racism that has nothing to do with whether or not you just hate people based on their skin color? It's if you have power. Okay? You
up
have
is the
power.
wait a minute. So we've talked about this. So
Yeah.
the world is now seen, through the prism of the oppressor versus the oppressed. Look, when you look at Israel, right?
Yeah.
They are considered to be an oppressor nation. Therefore, the attack from Hamas on Israel is justified. When
Justified.
you look when you look at people with the class warfare, men versus women. Men have power over women. They're oppressors. Therefore, they're racist. Everything is viewed through that colored lens. Pun fully intended, ladies and gentlemen. That colored lens of oppressor versus oppressed. Barack Obama, we've talked about this till we're blue in the face,
Mhm.
grew up, looked and sees the United States as an oppressor colonial nation. Therefore, again, everything is now class and race and identity based politics. It's
Yeah.
no longer a meritocracy. It's no longer about um, being the best that you can be. It is a victimhood based
Yeah.
on one of those factors, and therefore based on the wackadoodle lady in Chicago, right? The knucklehead lady in Chicago. That's her worldview, which
Yeah.
is racism can exist from black people to white people because you have the power, and therefore the only way that racism can exist is from white people who have the power
Yeah.
to black people or BIPOC. Is that like bipod? Does that mean she's got like? Never mind. Um, Never mind.
Well, here's what
Um,
I do know. Hold on. I found the quote. Okay? It's by
oh, you
H.L.
oh,
H.L.
Mencken.
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 Democracy is the theory that the common people know what they want and deserve to get it good and hard.
Got it. And on that note, Lord Benjamin says, I'm not even touching that. Okay. Because that's sort of that's one of those questions that no matter what I say, it's going to be wrong. So I'm not even going there. But ladies and gentlemen, where can they find us, Ericka? And
Okay,
don't
so
forget about Israel Appreciation Day.
that's right. So we're going to do a quick plug for Israel Appreciation Day as we switch to free speech platforms only. And when we get there, y'all, if
And
you're on Rumble,
then I'll answer that comment that you just made about H.L. Mencken's quote.
yes, okay. And when we get there, if you're watching on Rumble or Twitter, you'll be able to see Robert as a Minotaur. Okay. That is what you come here for, ladies and gentlemen.
I
There will
can't
be.
wait.
So follow us. If you've been watching this long, we thank you. Give the video a like, share it with your friends, subscribe on all of the platforms and podcastings and things, and hang on with us for a little bit of after hours, y'all. All right, hang on.
Why Israel Appreciation Day? Because no one is telling the Israel story about why Israel's existence is so important, not just as a Jewish state and not just as an ally of the United States, but for all the positive achievements Israel has contributed to the world in science, technology, medicine, human rights, religious freedoms, rule of law, democracy, and so on. We need to start winning the public relations information war and change the narrative, especially among our younger generations. We need to get the information out there and arm those people who understand the seminal importance of Israel to the world. And being the Jewish homeland doesn't begin to tell that story of why Israel is so important. It's something we all can come together on. And honestly, it's something we all must come together on. It is imperative the general public understands the nature of the very special relationship between Israel and the United States and Israel's importance to the world. So please join us on July 10th in Washington, D.C. as we celebrate Israel Appreciation Day. For those who can't be there in person, we'll be streaming live on the web at israelappreciationday.com. Never again is now.